1997, a sound came from the deep ocean. It was a whisper from the bottom of the world, a sound so powerful it was heard by secret ears thousands of miles apart. It was a voice from a place where sunlight has never reached, a deep, powerful rumble that rose from the crushing blackness, a sound that, by all we knew, simply should not exist. To understand the fear this sound created, you must understand where it came from. Not from the gentle, sunlit waves on the surface. It came from the abyss, the midnight zone. This is a realm of crushing pressure, where the weight of the ocean could turn a person to dust. It is a world of total darkness and freezing cold, a place more alien than the surface of the moon. And how did we hear this impossible voice, with ears that were never meant for science? A secret network of underwater microphones, sleeping silently on the vast ocean floor. A ghost system. These secret ears were built during the Cold War. They were designed to listen for enemy submarines, hidden in the dark. But for years, they listened to the planet's secrets. And one day, they heard something else entirely. Imagine the scientist, Dr. Christopher Fox, leaning over his instruments. He is expecting the usual, gentle hum of the deep ocean, maybe the distant song of a whale. Instead, This roar comes through the speakers, a powerful rising sound that lasts for over a minute. It was not a whale. It was not an earthquake. It was something unknown. They broke the sound down, looking at its shape. It was an ultra-low frequency, a vibration so deep you would feel it in your bones more than you could hear it with your ears. And it had a unique signature. The sound rose quickly, getting higher and higher. That specific profile, that shape, it looked like the sound made by a living thing. The largest animal on Earth, the blue whale, is the loudest. Its call can cross an entire ocean. This strange new sound was many times louder. Nothing known to science should have been able to make it. The sound was so powerful, it was picked up by those secret underwater ears over 5,000 kilometers apart. That is like shouting in New York and being heard clearly in London. To make a sound that powerful, the creature that made it would have to be impossibly huge, far bigger than any whale. So, the speculation began. A secret military experiment? Unlikely. The sound was too organic, too much like a living thing. A geological event, like an undersea volcano? The sound profile did not match. The way it rose and fell was not like rock and fire. That left one unsettling possibility whispered in the halls of science. The only thing that fit the profile was a colossal, unknown animal, a monster living in the dark parts of our world where no one had ever looked. And then, someone checked the coordinates. The source of the sound was pinpointed to a remote point in the South Pacific Ocean. When they put that location on a map, a cold chill went through people who study old myths and stories. The location was incredibly close to the spot where a famous writer, H.P. Lovecraft, imagined a fictional monster was sleeping. His story told of a giant creature named Cthulhu waiting in a sunken city. It was just a story. But the coincidence was deeply strange. For over a decade, this is where the story stayed. A ghost in the machine, a monster in our data. The bloop became more than just a sound. It became a symbol of the vast, terrifying unknown that hides in the deep. It was a profound reminder. We can map the stars and walk on the moon, but our own planet's deep ocean remains a place of profound mystery, a place where monsters could perhaps still be real. Years passed. The mystery deepened. Then, in 2005, scientists were studying something else entirely. They were worried about the melting of Antarctica, the giant continent of ice at the bottom of the world. They placed new underwater microphones, or hydrophones, near the great glaciers. They were listening for the sounds of ice cracking and breaking apart. They wanted to understand how fast the ice was melting. But they heard something else, something strangely familiar. They called it an icequake. It was not the sound of a living thing. It was the sound of the planet itself, the deep, agonizing groan of ancient ice. A piece of a glacier, maybe as big as a small country, breaking apart under its own impossible weight. That sound wave, born from the fracturing ice in Antarctica, did not just fade away. It was trapped. It traveled through a special layer in the deep ocean, a place called the Deep Sound Channel. This channel acts like a long, dark hallway, letting whispers travel for thousands of miles without losing their strength. So, the monster was ice. The mystery was solved, but does that make it any less wondrous? Or is it somehow more profound? The creature we imagined was a fantasy, a giant beast from a storybook. But the reality is a force of nature so immense it's hard to even picture. A single piece of our world, breaking apart, made a sound louder than any animal that has ever lived. The truth was bigger than the myth. It was more powerful. This changes how you see the world, doesn't it? We look for monsters in the deep. We search for lost cities and strange, unknown beasts. We hope to find something alien, something separate from us. But the greatest, most powerful secrets are sometimes the planet itself. The ground we stand on, the ice at the poles. These are not just places. They are living forces with voices that can shake the entire ocean. The Bloop has an answer, a big, cold, powerful answer. But what about the others? What about the other strange sounds our secret ears have picked up from the abyss? Sounds that still have no explanation. What about Julia, a sound recorded in 1999 that sounds like a deep, sad moaning? Or the whistle, a high-pitched call that streaks through the dark water? Or slow down, a strange sound that has been repeating and slowing for years? We still don't know what they are. Over 90% of our ocean remains unexplored. It is unmapped and unseen by human eyes. We solved one whisper from that darkness. But the abyss is vast, and it is filled with whispers. The Bloop taught us not that monsters aren't real. It taught us how to listen to the ones that are. But the Bloop was not the only ghost in the machine. Years later, another sound was recorded. This one was different. It was a long, strange whistle, echoing from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Scientists called it simply the whistle. It was picked up by a single hydrophone, one underwater microphone. It was not as loud as the Bloop, but it was just as strange. It did not sound like any whale or any known ship. The sound repeated, but it was never caught by more than one sensor at a time. This made it impossible to find where it was coming from. It was a phantom voice, a single, lonely signal in a vast, silent sea. It remains a complete mystery. And then there was Julia. This sound, recorded in 1999, was deeply unsettling. It lasted for about 15 seconds, and it sounded like a mournful cry, a sad, desperate call from something lost in the dark. These sounds are more than just data. They are whispers from a world we cannot see, a world of immense pressure and total darkness. Each strange noise is a question mark, a hint that the deep ocean is not empty. It is full of voices. Trying to understand them is like catching rain in your hands. The sounds travel for thousands of miles. They bounce off underwater mountains and bend through layers of cold water. By the time we hear them, they are distorted echoes of some unknown event. Imagine you are floating in that endless black, miles from any light, and you hear it. A low moan, a strange click, a sound that does not belong. It is the feeling that you are not alone, and you have no idea what is with you. Perhaps these messages were never meant for us. Maybe we are just listening in on a very old conversation, a language spoken not with words, but with pressure and vibration. A dialogue between the planet and the life it holds in secret. Think of all the places we have not listened. The deepest trenches, the canyons beneath the ice, entire oceans of darkness on our own world where no microphone has ever been. What songs are being sung there right now, completely unheard? The Bloop was just one word from an endless story. The ocean is a library of secrets, and we have only read the first page. The rest of the book remains unwritten for us, but its chapters are unfolding every moment in the crushing, silent deep.